Howdy and welcome to a new video. Today I am recording in my humble abode of a new apartment, and I asked y'all on Instagram to leave down a negative thought when relating to your art or your studies of drawing and such, and I'm gonna read it to you. I'm gonna read these negative thoughts and try to ease your mind and give you a more positive, realistic light. So let's get to it. And I'm gonna keep the names anonymous because I don't know. I don't know if you want me to be like blasting you like this. So first is, I can't actually draw because I trace the outline of people's faces. Is this negative? I mean, you could draw, definitely, but you have to give yourself the chance to draw naturally and start from shit and work your way up. You're not gonna really get anywhere when tracing because you're just tracing. So start out drawing like shit and I promise you will know how to draw. I'll never find my own style of drawing. I feel like a lot of young artists feel like this. It could be also like of any age, but when you're like in middle school or high school, you start to feel like, I can't draw, I can't have my own style, I'm not original. Well, honey, no such thing as originality in the art community. Everyone's different. Just borrow styles from your favorite artists, see what you like about each of their work, and work upon it. It may take a year or more. It doesn't come natural. Well, I mean, it could come naturally, but you have to be very patient. So I promise you will find your whittle art style. I've never been a good at any time. I'm always an average. I'm not fully an artist or fully anything. I don't know. Shawty, you need to figure your shit out. But not everyone is good at everything. But that doesn't mean you can't learn to be good at it. Again, you have to take the time to learn how to do things, and whether it be drawing or learning a language or learning how to cook. I am horrible at cooking, but that doesn't mean I'm just gonna starve myself because I can't cook. I am gonna try to learn how to cook. I've never fried an egg in my entire life, but that was mostly because I was allergic to eggs majority of my life. When I barely get comments or interactions, I feel like people actually dislike my art. Numbers don't matter. This is the toxic mindset of social media. I did make a video about it a couple months ago, but don't mind it. Even I see artists that are so fucking amazing, like outstanding, and yet they get such little audience because of the algorithm of TikTok, Instagram. I think Twitter. I don't really follow Twitter like that. But just post for yourself. Just post and just keep doing your work, because I can promise you that your art does not reflect, or the numbers shouldn't reflect your artwork. You're doing amazing, sweetie. My friends create amazing stuff while I am a beginner, and it's just hard to catch up. I can understand that, you have artist friends, and sometimes, they may be better than you at whatever it may be, but that shouldn't discourage you. I kind of use this as a method to help me to push myself even harder. I am a very competitive person. I may not look like it, but low-key I am. And I don't envy any of my artist friends whatsoever. We all have our different lives. We all have our different ways of learning and our capabilities. But, sometimes if they be flexing, I'll be like, shit, I want to flex too. So I'll use this momentum, this drive to, not over exceed them, or get cocky and all that shit. No, I just I want to be as great as them, so why Why stop from doing that? Whatever it may be. If they learned way before you did, if they started earlier, just focus on yourself. Honestly, don't mind them. Work on your own path, but also support your friends, because that's what a good friend does. I believe in you. I have all of this inspiration, but I just don't have the skill, and it shoved me into an art block. Perhaps instead of working on this inspiration or like an idea, perhaps you could also practice along the way to get to these skills that you wish for in order to draw your inspirations or ideas or whatever. I also get like this sometimes. Lately, I think that's why I haven't been doing like full illustrations, because I feel like I lack still a lot of skills within certain criterias within my artwork, which is why I've really only been doing sketches lately. But I'm working on something with that. But during this like little hiatus of, you know, painting or like doing full illustrations, I'm taking the time to study perspective, more anatomy, and, you know, color theory. Those are some big components within my artwork that I feel like I lack. And so I'm taking the time to work on that and then come back to it when I'm fully ready to submerge myself within full illustrations and create more beautiful art for you guys. People younger than me are doing a lot better. I feel you on this. I feel you on this on like such... I feel you on this. I understand your pain, but I also think it's awesome for them. Like, I don't know how long or how hard they may have been studying art or drawing, but like I see there's like 14 or 16-year-olds that are like amazing, like not even like just in painting, but like also like particularly in like digital art. Their idea of color theory is phenomenal, and like, oh my god, the anatomy. Like I'll be seeing some like anime fan art shit and I'm like, holy shit, you're 14 and you did this? I'm 24 and I can barely draw a fucking building. That shouldn't stop you from continuing studying art. Instead, you could analyze the art and see what makes their work so amazing. Focus on yourself. There's no time stamp on when you should be amazing at art. You could be 30 and start doing art. Go for it. Like, no one's stopping you. You can be 12, you can be 20. Like, just focus on your own track and don't mind others. I don't think I'll ever get where I want to be. This is like, hits home. Now, my thing is like, why do you think that? Is it because you are working so hard but you're not getting the recognition that you deserve? Or is it that you're studying but you're not getting anywhere and you don't think you'll get to this skill level that you would like to be? With the first one, let's say with the recognition thing, you know, just keep practicing, don't mind anything. And if you want to get, you know, we live in a time, an era of technology and social media. And sometimes people are really good at social media. Sometimes people are really bad at social media. But it's all a matter of like following trends and stuff and going through that and just working on that set, right? So if it goes along lines with that, like recognition, social media should not reflect how your art is. If you want to be like a full-time artist and be a freelancer, I will tell you right now, it is not easy. I've been at this for a couple months and I've just recently moved out to pursue my dream as a freelance artist in New York City, which is fucking expensive. And I do have this idea as well, like I feel like I'm gonna regret moving here because I won't be able to pay rent with the money I make as an artist. It's just something you have to keep telling yourself that, you know, the more work you put into it, the better. The more work you put into it, the more likely you'll, you know, succeed in what you want. If you want to do something, you have to push yourself in order to do that. I am a very stubborn person. So whenever I get this idea of like, I don't think I'm gonna make money, I don't think I'm gonna get commissions, I don't think I'm gonna get jobs being a freelance artist, I don't think that anyone's gonna buy my book, my art, and I'm like, well, why do I have to think like that? Why am I giving myself these negative thoughts? It's discouraging me even more to not want to do these things. Why don't I give it a try? So I would like to prove my negative mindset, my negative self wrong. I want to prove that to myself, not to even others, but to myself, that I can do this, that I can sell these books, that I can sell my art, that I can get better at art, that I can maintain myself on my own, live on my own, solely through my work and doing what I love. I would say that's my take on that. I'm scared I won't be able to master anatomy and clothes. I will tell you right now, that's gonna take a while, but you got this. It's just a matter of, consistently practicing and never stop practicing, because you'll never truly master something. Maybe you will, I don't know, but you always have space to learn more things, especially within art. So you will definitely. Don't be scared, just keep drawing, and if it sucks, just keep drawing, honey. I promise it'll get better. And you'll look back years from now like, holy shit, what if I'm not creative at all? I feel this. I'd be picking the negative comments that that relate to me the most, and that maybe I could help talk you people out of it. I always had this thing where I thought that, am I creative? Do I lack imagination? And it's not that, but sometimes I have to like reawaken it, if that makes sense. What I do is like, I look for inspirations. I have a shit ton of art books. I'll look into that. I'll watch movies, some of my favorite animated movies or anime, or just like amazing films. I could also get inspired through music and be listening to, lyrics and close my eyes and see what do I see when I'm like listening to the song. Kind of like that scene from Ratatouille where Remy eats like two things at once and he gets like sparks everywhere when he closes his eyes. That's kind of like me with music. I like to imagine like what has this artist brought into my imagination. And I think that also hinders my ability of narration within my illustrations. But lately I've been working on that by reading more to help me not come up with better stories, but have an idea of how I'm able to write these, but through my own work. So I think you're creative, you just have to open that Pandora box. No matter how much I draw or use references, the ideas in my head never look the way I want it to look. I will say that I feel you on this. It's not easy to get the exact thing that you want when you're drawing something, but you have to work your way around it and try different methods in order to get to the closest state as you can. Using references, I wonder if you use references like you try to find them on what you're looking for online, or if you take your own references. But it also depends on your skill level when drawing these things. So let's say maybe you lack the knowledge of composition, or what is the other thing, color theory, that kind of hinders what you had in mind. Try to build around it and create different thumbnails, like different compositions of the idea that you have in your head, and try to get it to the best capability that you can. I hate art school entrance. I know I failed. I want to do better. Please, everything get in place now. Listen, art school is full of shit. And this is coming from someone who went to art school for 3 years. Well, I mean, technically I went to college for art for 6 years. but 3 years I would definitely count for my bachelor's. But I understand the agonizing like waiting of whether or not you got accepted. But sometimes art schools are very pretentious, especially like the private schools. At least in the US, they get fucking competitive. The one thing I did like about FIT is, you know, although yes, it was a little bit competitive trying to get into the program, it really wasn't competitive within the program. Everyone was nice to each other, and you know, even if you did fail, that doesn't mean you should stop trying to whether just learn on your own or apply to other art schools. You know, just keep working on your craft. I started too late and everyone is so ahead of me. Doesn't matter. There is no timestamp, like I said before, to learning anything. Just keep at your own pace and don't mind your peers' success or abilities, skill levels, because then maybe you'll start to be like, oh fuck, I'm a piece of shit. But you aren't. You are not. You just started a little bit late, and there's nothing wrong with that. Just work on your own. I wish I wasn't so insecure and hateful toward my art anymore. Sweetie, your art is stunning. This is a mutual of mine, so that's why I'm like gassing them up. But if you know who you are, if you see this, don't hate your artwork. If you think you lack in something within a certain aspect of your style, of your style or your illustrations, then work on that. But you're doing great, sweetie. I can promise you you're doing amazing, and you'll continue to do amazing. I feel like I have nothing to add to the world as an artist, but it's the only thing I know how to do. Okay, I see where you're getting here, but let's say there's a lot of interpretations within art. A lot of people look back at past art and try to recreate their own versions. I'm trying to think of something, but I can't remember. But not an interpretation, appropriation. Just because someone else does it doesn't mean that you can't do it. No one has seen your version of this idea, of this appropriation or whatever. You can work on it. There is definitely space for you in the world of the art community to do whatever you want. Have fun, make that cash money, study hard, and just let it go with the flow. Don't think about that right now. Don't think about that. Just work on your shit. I know my purpose in this life is to create, but I feel unworthy. Honey, why are you feeling unworthy? If you think you're meant to create, then do it. Yeah, that's it. That's all I have. I can never finish things. I can't work fast enough to sell my art. Are my ideas actually any good? Damn. You're going through a lot right now. Why don't you finish things? Is it because you start something and it looks bad at first, so then you just start a new thing? Or is it because you're just like, I don't want to finish it, I'm lazy? Because if it's the first thing, my tip to you is to keep going. Use this to your advantage. See, in particular with sketches, you want to go all the way through and then take a step back and see, okay, what don't I like about this? Why? What could I do to make it better? And then draw it again. Analyze it and then recreate it. If you can't work fast enough, I feel like skill and like time, how much time you put into it coincides with speed. I know I'm known, I guess, I'm known for sketching really fucking fast, especially within TikTok and stuff, because I just trained myself to do that, and it did not come easy. It took maybe 2 or 3 years to sketch like that, but I also sketch pretty messy, and it may seem unfinished, but I think that's kind of what makes my art me. it seems it's meant to not always look finished on purpose. So maybe you can use your disadvantage of not finishing things on purpose, but don't do it out of pure laziness or out of like sheer, I don't think this is good, I'm gonna leave it as is. You don't want to do that. You want to have a reason as to why it's like that. Are your ideas actually any good? That's something you need to figure out on your own. Especially, I don't know your ideas, but I think it's good to get a second opinion or third opinion on your ideas and be like, hey friend, do you know if this is a good idea? Maybe they'll flat out tell you. You have to ask the real friends too, the realist friends. I have my friend Cass, who I always ask my opinion or their opinions on my paintings and such. And sometimes they'll be like, you could work on this better. Maybe you need to elaborate more on your concept of or the theme of your illustration. And I'll be like, fuck you. but in a more of a like, fuck you, you're right. I'm gonna go back to my desk and think hard about what you said, like a criticism in a way, and but not criticism in which it'll, good criticism, not bad criticism. I feel like I don't draw for myself anymore. It feels mundane and boring, the exact opposite of why I draw. Like there's nothing OG about me or my art anymore. I do what everyone on social media does. I can't believe I understood SM as social media. But I think you need to take a step back on posting on social media or just social media in general, and find what inspired you to draw. What got you going when you were young, when you were a wee artist, a wee young lad. And go back to those origins. Look for more inspiration and just take a little break from social media, because I feel like that definitely is maybe hindering your ideas of art. If it's boring to you and mundane, we don't want that. Try new mediums as well. I definitely recommend gouache and ink. Those are such a lit ass fucking media. But yeah, don't go ham and draw for yourself, not for other people. Why are some days good but some days are bad on paper? Great question, honestly. It's just some days where you just don't feel like doing anything, right? On those days, I like to, like I said before, look at what inspires me and go forward. Or what I've learned from this book called The Subtle Art of Not Giving a Fuck is to start to just draw and inspire yourself and then continue to work, and then it's a cycle of productivity, then you're motivated, then you're inspired, and then the inspiration will lead you to productivity, motivation, and you know the drill. So some people will have bad days, some people will have good days. Maybe you are one of those that have both. And maybe sometimes you just need a break. Sometimes you just need to look for inspiration. To each their own. I wish the best, but it'd be like that sometimes. But sometimes you gotta pay the bills, so you still gotta art anyways. Like me. I'm not productive enough. Too slow. My art is sloppy compared to other artists. I should quit. Bye thoughts. I love how you said bye thoughts at the end of your comment. But if you're not productive enough, maybe set a schedule for yourself. It also depends. I've been hearing a lot of people saying like, hey, yo, my ADHD is kicking in. And I'm just like, okay. Whether they be undiagnosed or not, but I see a lot of them be like, just very unproductive, like 2 minutes of working and then doing something else. If you think you're unproductive because you're a perfectionist, or you get distracted a lot, especially with like if you're an addict to your phone, put that shit away. Put on some music. I feel like music always helps me work better as opposed to watching a show or movie, because you're not visually focusing on two things at once. You're just listening to music, you're jamming, and you're drawing. If you're too slow, that takes time. It takes time to, you know, get to the pace where you want to be. Setting a time for yourself definitely helps with that. And if your art is sloppy, make it work. Do your thing. Make that sloppiness work. There's like artists where their style is just sloppy. Not sloppy. No, yeah, sloppy, but they still make it work. Like you can see the sketch underneath their artwork, and or it's part of their artwork, like their rough sketch, and fuck it, just go with it. Like there's artists like, well, I mean Monet is kind of, I can't think of any artist on top of my head, but abstract, bro. Okay, anyways, my art is only valid if others like it. You need to stop thinking like this, because then you're just drawing for other people and not yourself. Especially with people who draw on social media, post on social media solely for this validation that to keep you going. That is not a good mindset. Yes, it's nice to have people like your art, but if you're continuing to be an artist solely for this validation, to continue for you to draw, that is not a vibe. That is not a good motivated drive in my mind, because then you're really just drawing for other people. So I'd say take the time to draw for yourself, and honestly, you only need your own validation to like your artwork. And ending on that note, I am done with my little art therapy. I did not expect this to go very long, but you know, y'all had a lot of bad thoughts that I just wanted to, you know, ease your mind on. And you know, I'm just your little artist friend trying to help you out, homie. You got this. Let me know if you want me to do more of these, I don't know, art therapy videos. If that makes sense. Art therapy session? Is that what art therapy is? I don't fucking know. I'm no therapist, but I am an INFJ, and apparently they're really good with, like, you know, their occupations are therapy, and I'm like, artist. But collide too, and then you kind of get a really cool art friend that is supportive of your goals and dreams, but also they will be realistic and not bring in positive toxic positivity into your mind. Anyways, thank you for listening to my video. I will catch you in the next one. And you know, what the fuck do I say? Never stop creating. Catch you on the next one. Bye bye.